There comes a moment in life when the weight of your trials feels heavier than the strength in your shoulders. The storm rages, the nights grow long, and the tears flow like rivers that no one else can see. But I came to tell you today, your trial is not the end. It is the beginning of your elevation. What you thought was designed to bury you is the very thing God will use to raise you. When you are pressed, you are not being destroyed. You are being prepared. Preparation never feels good. Crushing never feels comfortable. The furnace never feels inviting. But in the fire of adversity, the gold of your destiny is being refined. Don't mistake delay for denial. Don't confuse pain for punishment. Every trial has a seed of triumph buried within it. You were not built to stay in the pit. You were built to rise from it. The higher the calling, the deeper the testing. The greater the crown, the heavier the cross. So stand tall in the storm. Dry your tears and square your shoulders. Trials are temporary, but triumph is eternal. You cannot elevate until you have endured. And when you come out, you won't just come out. You'll come out stronger, wiser, and ready to stand in places you once thought were unreachable. Your trial is a transportation system. It is moving you from who you were into who you were born to become. Don't despise it. Don't run from it. Embrace it, because it is the very ladder that will take you to your next dimension. What once was your breaking point will become your breakthrough. What once was your shame will become your strength. What once was your pain will become your platform. This is the hour to elevate. This is the season to rise. This is the moment to transform every trial into triumph, because the world doesn't just need your victories. It needs your story, and your story will not be one of defeat, but one of glory. Trials are preparation, not punishment, and when you begin to understand this truth, it changes the entire way you perceive what you are going through. Too many times people carry the weight of their struggles like a verdict, as if the pain they are enduring is proof that they have failed or that life has somehow disqualified them. But what if the very things you thought were designed to break you down were actually placed in your path to build you up? What if the sleepless nights, the disappointments, the betrayals, and the closed doors were all part of the curriculum in the school of destiny? Preparation never comes in the comfort zone. It comes in the wilderness, it comes in the furnace, it comes in the storm. When you are tested, you are being strengthened. And when you are strengthened, you are being shaped into someone who can handle the weight of greater blessings that are still to come. Think about the way a seed works. A seed cannot grow into a tree if it is not buried. To the untrained eye, burial and planting look the same. Both involve dirt, both involve darkness, both involve being pressed down into the ground. But the difference is intention. Burial means the end, planting means the beginning. Too often, we misinterpret our seasons of darkness as if life has buried us, when in truth we have only been planted. The pressure that covers you, the dirt that surrounds you, is not meant to suffocate you, it is meant to grow you. Your trial is not a punishment, it is a planting, and when the season is right, you will break through the soil with a strength you never knew you had. Preparation is always disguised as struggle. A soldier does not become strong on the battlefield. The soldier becomes strong in training. Training is grueling. Training is exhausting. Training pushes you to the edge of your limits. Yet, without training, the battlefield will consume you. So, when life pushes you through training, it is not because you are weak. It is because you are destined to fight and destined to win. The battles you face today are sharpening your skills for the victories that lie ahead. Every challenge, every obstacle, every heartbreak is shaping your resilience. It is chiseling away at the parts of you that cannot go where you are destined to go. It is fortifying your spirit so that when the weight of success comes, you will not crumble under its pressure. Sometimes the preparation looks like rejection. People walk away, opportunities close, doors slam shut in your face, and it feels like punishment. But rejection is often redirection. When one path closes, it forces you to discover another. When one person leaves, it makes room for someone better aligned with your destiny. When one plan fails, it pushes you to find a stronger strategy. The rejection you cried over today will be the redirection you rejoice over tomorrow. You will look back and realize that what you thought was punishment was simply a hand guiding you to the right place at the right time. Even the pain you endure in silence is preparing you. Tears water the soil of your growth. Brokenness softens the ground for breakthrough. Loneliness teaches you the value of true connection. Loss sharpens your gratitude for what remains. Every painful moment has a hidden purpose, and though you may not see it now, you will one day recognize that the struggle was never wasted. Nothing in your life is wasted when you see it as preparation. The storms don't come to destroy you. They come to reveal that you can stand even when the winds rage. The fire doesn't come to consume you. It comes to reveal the gold that was always hidden inside. And yet, the greatest challenge in preparation is patience. It is easy to give up when you cannot see the progress. It is easy to lose hope when the night feels endless. But growth often happens underground where no one can see. The roots of your destiny are being established in secret places, in unseen moments, in the privacy of your tears. By the time the fruit shows up in public, the preparation has already been working in private for a long time. Trust that the invisible work is just as important as the visible. The silence, the waiting, the hidden seasons, these are not punishments. They are divine strategies shaping you for a greater reveal. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. And the difference between the two is the difference between defeat and destiny. The fire refines. It doesn't destroy. And when you begin to understand the nature of fire, you stop running from it and start respecting its purpose. Fire has always been a symbol of transformation. It takes what is raw, what is unfinished, and it strips away the excess until only what is pure remains. Gold, when it is first mined, is not beautiful. It is covered in dirt, mixed with rock, and contaminated with impurities. If you were to look at it in its natural state, you might dismiss it as worthless. But when that gold is placed in the fire, the heat does not destroy its value. The heat reveals its value. The higher the temperature, the more the impurities rise to the surface. And only then can the refiner scoop them away. This is what life does when it allows you to pass through seasons of heat and pressure. The fire you are enduring is not meant to consume you. It is meant to refine you, to bring to the surface the weaknesses that must be dealt with, and to prepare you for a greater shine. When people see fire, they fear loss. They think about destruction, about what will be burned away, about what cannot withstand the heat. But the truth is, anything that can be burned away was never meant to last. The fire comes to separate the temporary from the eternal, the weak from the strong, the false from the true. If a relationship cannot withstand the fire, it was never built for your future. If a mindset crumbles under pressure, it was never meant to sustain your destiny. The fire exposes what was unstable all along. What survives the fire is the real treasure. What survives the fire is the strength you can carry forward. You are not defined by what you lost in the fire. You are defined by what endured through it. Consider how diamonds are formed. They are not created in gentle environments or pleasant conditions. They are born deep beneath the surface of the earth, under intense pressure and unimaginable heat. What would destroy ordinary material is the very thing that produces extraordinary beauty. In the same way, your life's pressure, your life's heat, your life's fiery trials are shaping you into something far more valuable than you could have ever imagined. Without the fire, you remain raw, unformed, and unfinished. But with the fire, you become something rare, something priceless, something that can withstand whatever comes against you. Many resist the fire because it feels painful. Heat burns, flames scorch, and trials leave scars. Yet, scars are not signs of defeat. They are signs of survival. They testify that you walked through the fire and lived to tell the story. They remind you that what was meant to destroy you only made you stronger. Every scar is a symbol of endurance. Every mark is proof that you overcame. The fire you face today will be the testimony you carry tomorrow. It will be the evidence that you are not fragile, you are not breakable, you are not disposable. You are refined. Fire also creates clarity. When you are in comfort, you can carry extra baggage without noticing it. You can tolerate distractions, entertain unhealthy attachments, and hide behind facades. But when the fire comes, it strips away everything unnecessary. Suddenly, you discover who your real friends are. You discover which values you truly stand on. You discover what matters most. The fire clears away illusions and forces you to confront reality. It simplifies your life by burning off what does not belong, leaving only what is essential for your next chapter. Though it feels like loss, it is actually liberation because you emerge lighter, freer, and ready to move with greater focus. The fire also creates resilience. Once you have walked through flames and survived, you no longer fear the heat. You no longer tremble at the thought of future trials because you know you have already been tested and proven. The fire becomes your testimony that you can handle adversity, that you can stand strong under pressure, that you are more durable than you ever imagined. Fire produces a boldness in your spirit that cannot be shaken. It gives you confidence to face whatever lies ahead because you have already faced what should have destroyed you and came out refined instead. There is also a beauty that only the fire can bring out. Gold that has been refined glows in a way raw gold never could. A diamond that has endured pressure shines in a way coal never will. Likewise, a soul that has endured trials radiates a depth, a wisdom, and a strength that comfort could never produce. The fire creates a testimony that touches others because people don't relate to perfection, they relate to perseverance. When they see your glow, they will not see the fire that almost consumed you. They will see the beauty it produced in you. They will not see the ashes. They will see the shine. Delay is not denial. And when you learn to discern the difference, you stop living in frustration and start living in expectation. The human heart struggles most with waiting because waiting feels like wasted time. When doors don't open immediately, when prayers seem unanswered, when dreams linger on the horizon but never materialize, it is easy to believe that you've been forgotten or that the promise was a lie. But waiting is not the enemy. Waiting is the womb of destiny. What looks like silence is often preparation, and what feels like delay is often divine timing arranging things on your behalf. Just because it hasn't happened yet does not mean it will not happen. Timing is everything, and delay is the space where God aligns people, places, and purpose so that when the door finally opens, it opens into a season you are prepared to sustain. Think of the farmer who plants a seed. He does not expect a harvest the next morning because he understands that growth takes time. The seed must first break in the soil, then roots must push deep, then the stem must rise upward, and only after a long season does fruit appear. If you judged the process too early, you would think nothing was happening, yet the most important growth takes place underground where no one can see. In the same way, delay is the underground work of your destiny. Roots are forming, foundations are being laid, strength is being built, and all of it is hidden from your sight until the right season comes. What you call delay is really invisible progress, and invisible progress is often the most important kind. Delay forces you to develop patience, and patience builds endurance. Without endurance, you will not last when the blessing finally arrives. Blessings are not light, they are heavy. Success is not easy. It comes with weight and responsibility. If you arrive too soon, the very thing you prayed for can crush you. Delay protects you from premature arrival. It shapes your character. It disciplines your habits. It strengthens your resolve so that when the opportunity shows up, you are not only ready to receive it, but you are strong enough to carry it. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lacked preparation. Delay ensures that you are not just talented, but prepared, not just eager, but equipped. Delay is also a test of faith. Anyone can believe when the answer is immediate. True faith is proven in the gap between the promise and the manifestation. That gap is where your trust is stretched, where your doubts scream the loudest, where your perseverance is tested. If you can still believe in the silence, if you can still trust in the waiting, if you can still hold on when nothing is happening, that is the faith that moves mountains. Delay does not mean denial. It means you are being invited into deeper faith, a faith that is not based on what you see, but on what you know to be true. Sometimes delay is protection. The very thing you are begging for might destroy you if given too soon. The job you think you want might take you out of alignment with your true calling. The relationship you are desperate for might break your spirit if entered prematurely. The opportunity you are chasing might look good on the outside, but hide dangers you cannot see. Delay keeps you from walking into traps disguised as blessings. It is not rejection, it is protection. It keeps you from settling for less than what you were designed for. It forces you to wait for what matches your destiny rather than clinging to what only feeds your desperation. Delay also shifts your perspective. In the waiting, you learn to value what you once took for granted. You learn gratitude. You learn humility. You learn discipline. When you finally arrive at the blessing, you appreciate it more deeply because you remember the struggle of waiting. The longer the wait, the sweeter the fulfillment. The pain of delay intensifies the joy of breakthrough. Those who receive too quickly often squander what they receive, but those who wait cherish it, protect it, and maximize it. Delay gives you perspective that denial never could. Even nature testifies to the beauty of delay. A butterfly does not emerge overnight. It spends time in the cocoon, hidden unseen and uncelebrated. To the outside eye, the cocoon looks like confinement, but inside transformation is taking place. If the butterfly emerges too soon, its wings will not be strong enough to fly. Delay gives it strength. Delay ensures that when the cocoon finally breaks, the creature that emerges is capable of soaring. In the same way, your cocoon seasons are not wasted. They are sacred times of transformation where you are being reshaped for flight. Delay is not denial. It is the space where your wings are being formed. The greater the trial, the greater the triumph. And this truth is etched into the fabric of life itself. Every victory is measured by the size of the battle that preceded it. You cannot celebrate triumph without having endured trial, and the depth of your struggle determines the height of your success. Small challenges produce small victories, But the trials that threaten to break you wide open are the very ones that position you for extraordinary breakthroughs. It is the intensity of the struggle that creates the magnitude of the reward. To resent your trial is to resent the stage being built for your triumph, because the two are inseparable. When you look at those who have accomplished great things, you will often find behind their triumphs a trail of pain, rejection, loss, and countless obstacles. What looks like overnight success is usually the result of years spent wrestling in the shadows. The triumph only shines so brightly because the trial was so dark. Without the weight of pressure, without the sting of hardship, without the tears of disappointment, the taste of triumph would not be nearly as sweet. It is the struggle that gives triumph its meaning. The crown carries no glory without the cross that came before it. Trials stretch you beyond your limits, and in stretching you, they reveal capacities you did not know you had. You discover strength you thought was absent, resilience you never imagined, and determination that surprises even you. A great trial strips away the illusion of weakness and forces you to tap into hidden reservoirs of power. The triumph that follows is not only about what you achieved externally, it is about what was revealed internally. The greater the trial, the more profound the discovery of who you really are. Trials peel back the layers of comfort and reveal the warrior, the fighter, the survivor that was always within you. The size of your trial also determines the scale of your influence. People do not look to those who have walked an easy road for inspiration. They look to those who have endured storms, navigated valleys, and climbed mountains for hope. The greater your trial, the greater your testimony, and the greater your testimony, the more lives you can touch. Triumph is not meant to be kept to yourself. It is meant to shine as a beacon for others still trapped in their own struggles. When people see the magnitude of what you survived, they begin to believe that they too can overcome. Your trial becomes a bridge for someone else's faith, and your triumph becomes proof that victory is possible even in the darkest hours. Great trials also break pride and build humility, because they remind you that you are not invincible on your own. They bring you to your knees. They strip away self-reliance. They force you to acknowledge your dependence on something greater than yourself. And when triumph finally comes, it is not celebrated with arrogance, but with gratitude. You know you didn't make it by your own strength. You know it was grace that carried you. You know it was mercy that sustained you. Triumphs that follow great trials are marked by a depth of thankfulness that lesser victories cannot produce. The greater the trial, the deeper the gratitude, and the deeper the gratitude, the more meaningful the triumph. Sometimes trials are prolonged because the triumph that awaits is not just for you, but for generations after you. What you endure may not be about your comfort, but about your legacy. The battles you fight now may break chains that have bound your family for decades. The victories you win may open doors that future generations will walk through. A small trial produces a small personal win, but a great trial produces a triumph with ripple effects that extend far beyond your lifetime. The magnitude of your struggle often signals the magnitude of your destiny, because destiny is never measured only by what you receive, but by what you release into the world. And though great trials bring great pain, they also bring great perspective. Once you have endured the worst and still survived, your confidence changes. You no longer tremble at the thought of adversity because you know you carry the strength to outlast it. The next storm does not intimidate you the same way because you remember what you survived before. Triumph is not just about the outcome. It is about the transformation of your mindset. A great trial shifts how you see yourself, how you see life, and how you see possibility. The greater the trial, the greater the triumph, because the fire that tested you becomes the very proof that you were unbreakable all along. Your trial is as a transportation system. And the moment you begin to see it this way, you stop cursing the journey and start recognizing the vehicle that is carrying you into your next dimension. Trials are not random interruptions. They are divine vehicles moving you from one stage of life to another. They do not come to trap you where you are, but to transition you to where you belong. Every obstacle, every setback, every disappointment is a form of movement, even when it feels like stagnation. Just as a stormy sea can carry a ship to a new shore, your trial is carrying you to a destination you could not have reached by comfort alone. Think about how life shifts through challenges. A door closes, and at first it feels like loss, but in truth, it is a push to walk down a different hallway that leads to greater opportunities. A relationship breaks apart, and though your heart aches, that fracture is the very thing that frees you from a life that would have kept you beneath your potential. A job ends, and though you panic, it is the disruption that forces you to pursue the vision you were always meant to build. Trials are transportation systems because they disrupt routines, they uproot comfort, they break attachments, and in doing so, they move you to places you never would have chosen on your own. Comfort is a cage that keeps you still. Trials are the wheels that force you forward. The transportation may not feel smooth. Roads can be bumpy, storms can make the ride terrifying, and delays can make you think you are going nowhere. But the turbulence of the ride does not mean you are off course. Airplanes shake in turbulence, but still land in their destination. Cars rattle on uneven roads, but still take you to the city you are heading for. In the same way, the shaking of your life, the uncertainty, the instability is not proof that you are lost. It is proof that you are moving. Stillness may feel safe, but movement often feels messy. Do not mistake the rattling for ruin. It is simply the vibration of transition. Trials also rewrote you. Sometimes the straight road you wanted to take is blocked, and the trial becomes a detour. Detours are frustrating because they take longer and force you onto unfamiliar paths, but they also keep you away from danger that you could not see ahead. What you perceive as delay is actually protection. The trial becomes the driver steering you away from cliffs and collisions you did not know were waiting for you. It may take longer to arrive, but when you do, you will see that the detour was the safest path all along. Every trial that redirected you was keeping you aligned with a destiny bigger than your own understanding. Transportation is also about transformation. When you step onto a bus or a train, you do not only move from one location to another, you often encounter people, experiences, and perspectives along the way that change how you see the world. Trials are the same. They introduce you to new strengths within yourself. They expose you to wisdom you would not have gained otherwise. They teach you lessons you never could have learned in ease. By the time you reach your new destination, you are not the same person who began the journey. Trials transport you not only geographically or situationally, but also internally, shaping your character, sharpening your vision, and strengthening your faith. Even when you feel stuck in the trial, remember that stillness is only an illusion. A train sitting in a tunnel may feel like it is not moving, but in time it emerges into light. The darkness of the tunnel is part of the journey. Your darkest trial is not a permanent prison, it is a temporary tunnel. On the other side, there is a greater level, a broader horizon, a new chapter you never imagined. The trial is the tunnel and triumph is the exit. You may not always see the progress, but the vehicle is still in motion. The beauty of trials as transportation systems is that they often drop you off in places you would never have chosen, but later realize you always needed. Rarely do we volunteer for hardship, yet it is hardship that carries us to destiny. You might not have signed up for betrayal, loss, or struggle, but those very experiences moved you out of where you were and into who you were created to be. Without the trial, you would have remained stuck in the comfort of the familiar. With the trial, you are transported into the future that was waiting for you all along,